Today is 7/3/26. I've discovered that homosexuality is at its highest here in the system. I've discovered predatory behavior at its highest in the system. It is being treated like it's normal. No one is surprised. In fact, these predators are free. They're not punished fairly. They're not given a harsh punishment. I've discovered they're teaching children about homosexuality in their institutions. I've discovered that currency here that they call money can either save you, dictate your decisions in the system. that this currency is what determines your future in the system. And that if you don't have this currency, you have nothing in the system. You won't be able to acquire anything in the system. I've discovered that when you don't have currency of any sort, not only are people cold to you, but they're colder. Something happens where when you really do need help and you have nothing, they'll laugh at you. They'll interrogate you rather than just help you. It's the opposite here in the system. When you're down, they kick you. When you're down, everyone hates you. I've discovered that an individual may know that exactly. And for that exact reason, they'll do anything and everything to keep this currency. Who am I? I'm nobody. I'm just eyes and a voice. Just looking around. Keeping my ears open. I am no physician according to the system. No scientist according to the system. But I have discovered this. I've discovered that if you stay alone, you can hear. You can actually hear. You can see. You can actually see. But that's only if you're alone. And if you're alone consistently, then you get the chance to hear even more and see even more. I've discovered that it is the hard thing to do. That the easy thing to do is to do what everyone else is doing, say what everyone else is saying. In the system. And with you being alone, a certain individual may question it. Say maybe you're crazy for it, that something must be wrong with you in the system. That it's opposite. That you have to be missing out because you're not with everyone else. But you discover being alone that you know a lot because you were able to see and hear a lot. Everyone is looking down and you look up and you see. But you will still be crazy because you're the only one. In the system. I've discovered here that to make it easier to feel a part of something, to be loved or cared for, individuals have put on a role, a mask. They have adopted these personas. I've discovered here that certain individuals, they don't like to inform a person of who they truly are. They would avoid deep connection, serious questions. I've discovered that the only time that they will be open to sharing such information is if they're getting paid for it. They're getting some type of currency. That it has not become any longer organic. Wanting to just know a person. I've discovered that everything's contaminated. And because of that effect, it causes the creatures of the earth to suffer, retaliate. I've discovered that if individuals are not using natural resources, the sea is a natural resource. Rivers are a natural resource. That in order to construct there will be synthetic to maintain it. For example, a pool. Since a pool is a construct, it is not a natural resource. In that pool is made synthetic. Synthetic substance to maintain it. Maintain the substance that fills the pool. Cleans the pool. But there wouldn't be any synthetic if we had natural resource, rivers, and the sea. I've discovered that the synthetic, again, are in different forms, different names. And because of that effect, it causes people to suffer. I've discovered babies are born prematurely because their mothers are on this synthetic substance. I've discovered that babies are born with this synthetic substance because their mother ingested it while they were in the womb. I've discovered that this substance, this synthetic, is highly, highly detrimental, addicting. I've discovered that being on and using these synthetics, people, individuals have sold their house, their kids, themselves. when this synthetic can be gone, could be ruled out, laws passed, and harsh punishment if distributed and found. That there's always ways that things could be more strict. We could definitely put more energy and work into those areas instead of a traffic stop because maybe this car was swerving and then you happen to be suspicious. People should be drug tested for synthetic. Just how when we're tested, there are microplastics in us. We'd be infested. That would at least wake us up. It would cause a reaction. The only reason why these measures are taken is because it's far past due. And that in the hands of individuals, they have not made the choice willingly to stop these things, to stop the suffering of their children, to stop the suffering to themselves. In our future. It is past due. So I've discovered, what do we have to do? Before God comes, before Jesus Christ returns, what can we do? I've discovered that individuals don't follow the Bill of Rights. They don't follow their constitutions. So this is past anyone's rights because you never followed them. This is past anyone's right because this is just what's right. There will be drug testing in all of the middle schools, all of the elementary schools, all of the high schools, all of the colleges, in every institute that we have to test our children. We have to test our babies because we keep finding, as I'm discovering, babies born with synthetic substances in their system. Before they took their first breath, they were drugged up. You hear that a baby is withdrawing when they come from outside of the womb because they are no longer ingesting what their mother is ingesting. So they come out shaking, non-stop crying. Nothing is soothing them. And you find that, you discover that there's synthetic substances in their system that is highly addicting, highly detrimental, because this baby has come out with defects, this baby may be premature. So now there's a reason for a hospital. Now there's a reason for doctors and scientists and aides. There's a reason for science and more drugs, I guess. Because that's how it started. It started with someone creating it. Creating something so toxic. Creating something synthetic. Now we need answers of how are we going to fix it? Are we going to fix it the natural way? Feed this baby, feed this person fruits and veggies and grain, all natural things. Are we going to find herbs, natural herbs? Are they around for us to use for natural remedy to heal this baby, to heal this person? Or are we going to go to the certain institutions where they're going to put in more steroids, synthetic substances? Drug testing. And if you're found out, there will be consequences. If you're a child, there will still be consequences. Consequences as far as now you're questioned. Now you're pulled away from the time that you were spending to study, to play, to do the things that you should be doing. Now we got to get through to you. We need to understand, how did this come about? Why is this happening? How did it come into your possession? Why are you taking this? Who gave it to you? We need names. We need addresses. We need it now. Because we want fear in these souls. We want fear. Yeah, people are still going to probably make it, but at least they know we're coming for them. Not in 6 months, not in a year, every day, every second, we're working. We want to put fear in these low-lifers, these scums, these evil workers, these grim reapers. We want to put fear in them. That's a weapon. We don't need to come with, ammunition, and we come with fear. So, drug testing in every place, every workplace. Now, with the synthetic substance, it stays in your system. So if we're not testing you every day, it's every week. If we're highly suspicious and it takes every day, then we will test you every day. But knowing about these synthetic drugs, synthetic substances, and how they stay on your skin, they stay in your hair follicles, they stay in your blood. It will be weekly testing. Make it a bit smoother for the person. every week. Swab your mouth, do a urinalysis, check your hair. When you're buying fresh produce, you have to get it weekly, if not daily. This is what I've discovered when it comes to synthetic substances and just certain scenarios, not all, but certain ones that come to my mind first. And that is the children, that is the babies, that is just the suffering. Testing weekly because it's come to this, because it's overdue. And that it's clear that you're not strong enough. You don't have the will. So I've discovered that you need to take the will. You need to just do what's right. Regardless of what everyone feels their rights are, it's what's right. You had the right to speak, but you did not. But when they find that they have the right to bear arms, they're quick to do that. When just talking could have de-escalated. People have taken it in their own way. And in their own way, they have shown extremity. But just not in the best way. So I'm going to take it in our way to that extremity because it is the best way. In the system. If this is a system, there shouldn't be no problem with it because it's not a life of paradise. This is not heaven. So in the system, you will be drug tested as we know we are here, but putting more time and energy and control in those areas. You will be surprised to know how many children are taking this synthetic drug. Why? Because it is now mandatory. It is not when you find out from a third party or when someone snitches on you because maybe you stop giving them the synthetic drug. We don't have time. We no longer want to have that time. Time is overdue. Whether you do, whether you don't, you have no choice now. You will be surprised how many children in elementary school are but are given synthetic substances. It's past due where the time you find out is when the child is dead. Or the child seemed suspicious, kept falling asleep in school, didn't feel all right, so we took them to the hospital and tested them. That's far too late. Far too late to have to hear excuses of now why you were giving this child a synthetic substance. Well, because I'm tired and I've been working. Hold your tongue. It would have been too late. You will be held highly, just as the child looks at you highly. And what have you done? You have let this child down. You will be held accountable. So we drug test. We test for synthetic substances. And if we find out that this child is taking these things, not only, but we find who's giving them this, you will go to prison. There's no time to have you speak. Hold your tongue. Why? Because you didn't care about your children when you were giving them this synthetic drug. But because now you're going to prison, you're worried about where your children will be placed. They will be placed in better hands than in the hands from you. And whatever you've been giving them, they can give them something better. They will give them life. You were giving them death. And let's hope to God that your child doesn't die from what you've given them. Let's hope to God. Because you were giving them a toxic synthetic substance that is highly addicting. What future will this person have if this would have been still allowed? Hold your tongue to have to hear you say, well, it was my drugs and they found it. It's a little too late. You didn't take measures to protect your child. You didn't protect yourself. So it doesn't matter what excuse you have, it is not tolerable. It is not going to be accepted because you are the adult. There is no excuse other than taking responsibility. And I have not heard that yet. You will be in prison. You can write to your children. You're not a pedophile. You're not, you're a danger to them. Trust me, you are. But there's levels to it. You can write to your children. You can see them. You can have visits, but you will have a sentence for what you've done, so that you will know not to ever do that again. Do you understand me? You're going to sit in isolation. Recreational, you call it, but that's usually after you're released. No. All of this is that. Fair treatment, fair justice. You will get a sentence. It won't be a long sentence, but it will be enough to sit with what you've done, because you did not take responsibility. Instead, you used excuses. I was tired. The child found it. I didn't give it to them. Or I gave it to them because I just wanted them to go to sleep. All of that sounds horrible. Digging yourself in a deeper pit. Do you know that? Hold your tongue. And I'm guessing I've discovered that's why you usually have a defense lawyer. You have an attorney to speak on behalf of you. But in this case, we're not having no attorney speak for your defense. You did it. Now speak, spirit. Confess. Coward. You're going to pay someone to speak for you. In the system. Nope. If you did it, you will speak up for what you've done. There ain't no running, ain't no hiding. Moving on to the next case. You will be held liable for once, fairly. You may serve a year for that. A year, yes. 6 months, maybe. Depending. This was a child. Understand that. This wasn't yourself. This isn't, we drug tested you for this synthetic material, this substance. No, it was your child. If children now are testing positive, now we have to detox this child because that's the only way. This person has to go through detox. So now there will be places where you can go and do your detox. And it's not a choice because we're past that. This is preventable measures because the next path is death, overdose. We're catching it. We're catching you. We're discovering it. We're not letting it pass by us. We're not ignoring it. We have people, we have workers that are there day and night to speak to your mind, to help your body, your soul, everything. We have teachers, we have counselors, we have herbalists. We have places where you'll have no choice but to detox. That's all you're doing. And not only that, you will be in a place of isolation to think about your actions. If you're a juvenile, you will be in a juvenile institution, in a place. Because here's the thing, we can't force you to stop doing what you're doing. But as leaders of the world, we will put fear there. We will put fear where it should be. When it comes to all the wrong things, all the synthetic things of the world, the things that drive a person to death and destruction, there will be fear there. Just like it has this X, warning, 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 but you're reading it. Or you're not reading it. You don't feel fear when you see these warning signs. So yeah, you're going to do what you want to do. You have that choice. But if we find out that you're doing something that you shouldn't do in the world, endangering children, that's danger to yourself and the future. Best believe we will take care of it on your behalf. So we would hope that you'd make the right decision, because you have the right to make your own decisions. But this is what I've discovered, that these measures are not taken. Just like in certain places they have security, in certain places they don't. They'll have security in one school and like top-notch security. We're not talking about a security guard. We're not talking about a patrol car. We're not talking about just one nurse. We're talking about a fleet of people at the entrance, the back entrance, guarding the place. Because it's past due. Every day you're hearing about a massacre in a school, in a children's school, a massacre. How? Because you chose to have top-notch security at this particular school, but 2 blocks down, you didn't have one for that one. There was no one securing their doors. Easy target, I would suggest. If we got all of these funds, because where is the money going to? We have enough money. You can say we don't. You can say you don't have enough money to give because you don't want to give more money. That's it. But you have money to give because you're making the money. You're making this material. You can just keep printing money. But no, you want to make this into a monopoly game. So you'll give enough money, enough funds, and we have to distribute that properly because you're not going to give us any more money. We have enough funds. We have enough of this material. Because no one's going to really work without making money, Shout outs to the ones that will volunteer. That's what it's called. Because you're not going to get paid for that. But there's enough people in these certain sectors to secure these places. Luckily, schools, they're only but for so many hours. They're not no 12-hour, 24-hour hospital situation. We just need someone at the back door, the front door, and the side door. How many doors are there? There's not that many, I'm sure. There's a back door somewhere. There's a front door. There's a side door. There may be 2 side doors and a front door and a back door. You telling me there's 16 doors in this school to the outside? I don't think so. There's windows. Yeah. There should be one on the roof. Isn't that the job? Scripture. Patrolling, securing. Okay, you do the same thing at the White House. Are you saying that the president is more important than the children when he's a paid actor? He literally probably was an actor once upon a time. But I'm saying, really? When he's going to be the first one to flee the country, if something happens in the world, a zombie apocalypse, where you think he's going to be? You think he's going to be on the ground with us? Or he going to be on the first class ticket somewhere in the sky? If it was a tsunami, if it was 2012, the movie, fireballs falling from the heavens, where you think he's going to be? Why hold just an individual up so high when the children are the most powerful, the most delicate? We serve them. We serve the children. Because we always protect them. We put them first. Why do I have to tell you that? Why do I have to tell someone that has more power than me from the surface? Why do I have to tell someone like that? So again, at these schools, elementary, middle, high school, if you're in those places, you're still a child. Don't matter if you're 21 or 22 still in high school, you're still considered a responsibility. There will be security guards at every door and on the roof. That's it. It's better than having a patrol officer just ride around once in a blue moon. He can't be everywhere at once. And by the time he get out the car, the person's already in the school. So how did they get into the school? Were they already in the school? So when I say top-notch security, for instance, one hospital may have this the scanner, the weapons scanner, the metal detector. The next hospital don't have it until something happens. Then they want to implement it. Okay, it's over delayed. You see, hold your tongue. This school, that school, every school in the country, we talk about all this technology, all this AI, and use it for the betterment of us, for the betterment. So what is the issue? If AI is supposed to be for us, the better of us, of humanity, why is there not all of this technology being used in every school? Because if the kid is in the school, he attends this school, then you're not looking for someone from the outside. You're looking for someone that's inside. Like stranger calls. They call back and say, listen, you need to get out the house because we traced the call. It's inside. Dun, dun, dun. Click. But that person, that child, that person that attends these schools, they would have been caught because that metal detector at every entrance would have seen it. Not only that, but everything in this school is the government, right? Is the schools. It belongs to the school. Well, every locker is checked every day. Just like you can bring a dog and they sniff the lockers for synthetic material every day. That's work being done day and night. That is working. That is why certain careers are held at a higher standard, because there is so much more work that you got to put into it. Like security officers, policemen, they're all the same to me. They are held at a higher standard. In my heart, I look at them very highly, because you know in your soul the work that is put in and the work that's supposed to be put in. And if they were all putting in this work, right? Not saying they aren't, but the work that we know that they usually would put in or should put in or do put in, that is a lot. That is like, wow, like I'm amazed, because they doing the dang thing. They securing the place. They checking left and right. They making sure. We love our police officers. We love our security guards. We love them. They're our protectors. You see? So yes, every locker will be checked. We didn't hire this security guard, this police officer at the school to just walk around. We didn't hire him to when a fight breaks out and then he de-escalates. No. He is hired every day, not sometimes. So there's going to be some times where there's not really much to do. So, usually you're walking around. Okay, well, this time around, we need these lockers checked. We need all of them checked. So that's why it shouldn't just be one security guard or just 2 security guards. No, we need a fleet of them for a couple hours a day. Because again, school is not in session 24 hours. School is not in session for 12 hours. So you're only needed for a couple hours each day. Just a regular shift. Because again, you signed up to be a school police officer or a school security guard. Am I right? Given more opportunity for individuals to have a job as well. Because we say, oh, we don't have enough police officers to be enforced. Okay, well, we can hire some people then. We don't need the police officers that do other things to come into the schools. We can hire police officers and security guards to be in the school. That's where they're stationed. We can make even a post for them. For the cars, and I'm sure there is, parking, there should be a security guard there as well. When they're coming to pick up their kids, there's usually a security guard, patrol person there as well in the streets. Because we are there to lead our children. We are there to protect our children. We are there to serve them. That is our job. And this is just in school. I haven't got to everything else. So this is giving opportunity for our young men and our young women, our older, whoever. It giving opportunity, job opportunity. There's a lot of people that would love to be a security guard, love to be a police, love to work for justice. But oh no, their application got denied. For what? Sorry, you weren't picked. You don't have experience. Well, train me. How am I gonna get it? How am I gonna truly know? These fields, these sectors, every sector can be trained. But instead, no. You want to make it so hard. Making it so hard, it'd be too late. Another school was massacred because you want people to go to school for freaking 2, 3, 5, 1. I don't care. You want them to go to this institute when they could be in these schools being trained on the job. That's it. Like, get them into the door at least. They can still have their homework. They can still have their paperwork that they have to do on their own time, but at least they have the hands-on clinical experience and don't have to be in an institute to get all that. They could be working and making money at the same time. But no, that's not the way you like it. That's not the way you want it to be. So hold your tongue, because this is Allie's dream, okay? This is Allie's world. So yes, there is people of justice at the front door, the roof, the back door, the side doors. And best believe, the school is well ventilated. They can have their windows open. They can have the air conditioner if they choose to, which they should. Unfortunately, when you're in these buildings all day, you're not getting proper ventilation. Now, if we were teaching our children at home, we wouldn't have to worry about air conditioner, electricity. We wouldn't have to depend on them because our children will be learning everyday things. Sun, we be outside. You talk about photosynthesis, you talk about, things that you call it differently now in school. Like, oh, this is all biology now. But if we were teaching our kids, they would be outside. They would have the fresh air. They would get the sun and the fresh water. They could sit under a tree and read. They can have their swimming classes and they can have their gym, their activities outside. But since that's not the case in the system, as I discovered, then yes, I've discovered this. That now it takes security guards to be front door, back door, roof, side door. It takes metal detectors at the front door, side door, back door. And here's the thing, no one should be even coming from the back door. Like, that should be for emergency purposes only. And so usually when that door is pushed, there's an alarm that goes off, correct? Okay, so it's sad that I have to say there has to be a metal detector back there as well as security, because again, we can't take chances because it just takes for someone to push it, but they're already in. Yes, the alarm is going off, but they're already inside and we don't know who that is. Now, yes, there's cameras. Yes, so that's what I mean. Even if there's cameras, it's a little too late. They've already started firing. It still takes that security guard that's walking around on the 5th floor to come to the 2nd floor. If there's just one. So I say there is a fleet of us and that there is a metal detector back there as well as security, so that if someone does tend to, if someone pushes that door, if someone tries to come in, okay, the alarm went off, okay, the camera's seen them, okay, but guess what? There was a security guard, a police officer that also was standing right there. So the chances are very slim. If the person fired at that security guard, okay, but at least he was there. At least we had an alarm. At least we have a camera. At least we have a metal detector. So at least we know what's going on. That slows the chances. Versus there not being anyone at that door. There not be no camera back there, but the alarm's going off. Now you're trying to figure out which exit, which door. But again, that slows it down because they're already inside. And so, of course, it's a hazard to not have emergency exit. That would be a hazard, or something blocking it. So I can't say, just mount up this exit, right? Let it be just only 2 doors. No, see, that's the thing. That's a hazard. Okay. If something happens, we want for everyone to get out as quickly as possible. And there to be multiple routes for that to happen. So if there's 4 doors to this big, if there's four doors to this big building, that's good enough, okay? Because that's like the 4 corners, north, south, west, east. So you have to understand that. All right. And that's it. We leave it alone. We go on to the next case. We go on to the next school, right? You got people that, again, our people of justice, you know, you usually have them come to the schools and they educate the kids. It's the same thing. There's people that actually, I forget their titles, like public, something. There's different names. Like I said, you can go to school for these things where you can now teach about, you know, preventative measures and things like that. But that's the thing. Again, you don't have to go to school for that. You just know that. And the more experience you don't know until you know. So the more experience we as people have, not scientists or doctors, no, we the people. I've discovered this. I don't have to wait until they discover it. But now it seems like we have to wait for them to discover it, for them to be implementing these things, for it to be able to be approved. So we go on to the next school. We find out, okay, there we go, inspectors. Inspect your gadget. We go on to the next school. We find out, wow, 2 of their cameras don't work. So we find out who's the head of maintenance. Let's say maintenance, for example, in this school had that responsibility. You see, everyone is held at a higher standard because it is their job. And I would not be doing my job if I did not come to every school and inspect, if I am Inspector Gadget. Anybody? Okay, continuing. I go into this school and I see that 2 cameras are out. I now test the camera, analyze it, and I find out that the last footage was over 2 months ago. So I don't have to ask the maintenance or whoever's in charge of this, who's responsible. Not saying that maintenance is always responsible, but in this school, when we asked who's responsible of checking the cameras or checking to make sure the batteries are renewed and whatever it takes for this camera to operate properly 24/7. They said the maintenance guy. I said, okay, but here's the thing. I don't have to ask the maintenance guy, when's the last time you checked? And to ask the person, they could lie and say, oh, it was fine last week. Hold your tongue. It's a little too overdue for that. You know why? Because I did my work. I did my due diligence. The last footage it showed was over 2 months ago. That was for one camera. The second one on the 5th floor, that one has been out for a year. You see, when you do your own work, you in control of it. You in control of the time, because it's like we ain't got time for excuses. We don't have time for lies. We don't have to just not know. I do know. I'm able to know if I do the work myself. Now, unfortunately, it shouldn't have took that, right? I should trust in the person that has chosen to work and do this, be responsible for it, or at least was held responsible for it, okay? And this is coming from a fear judge, a fear person of justice, because I'm not trying to be the bad guy. I'm not trying to have you come to my office and sit you down and ask you why you lied. I'd rather for you to just told the truth. But instead, I saved all that. I said, hold your tongue. Let me tell you what I have analyzed, because you don't have to say anything, right? I just want you to come to me so that I can put fear into you in the right place, without being unruly. It's a natural fear, because this can't happen again. Do you understand? Because when It was in your hands to do it. You missed and abused your authority, right? You also lied or was about to lie to me. When they look to you, again, security guards, police, maintenance, janitors, they're the highest esteemed. We admire those people. That if it wasn't for them, there would be chaos. Nothing would run. We depend on these people. So I understand, right? I understand if this person said, well, I don't get paid enough, or there's not enough staff, or, I'm just tired. Listen, I get it. Hold your tongue. You should be getting paid more, but we can talk about that next because I'm the judge now. Here, let me introduce myself because you did not know, right? I know all of this already. Trust me, I've been working already behind the scenes. It's going to be handled. But right now, okay, we got to think about our children. Right now, and it will always be this way, that they come first. You know that, right? So hold your tongue. I already checked the cameras. I already seen the last footage. One shows last year, one shows 2 months ago. So you will be held responsible for that. You will be written up for it. I won't suspend you. I won't do any of those things. Again, I'm still working on getting you raises and all. I'm not even, they would have thought I was a superintendent. They would have thought I worked for the school. No, I work for the world. You see that? Like when I step on the scene, they can't say nothing. Yeah, your boss, your CEO. No, when I step on the scene, they shut up. Hold your tongue. Because I'm exposing everything. Nobody's safe. You understand me? But understand, I am here for the people. I am here for you. And you know our priority is the children. I don't have to say that. Okay? So you will be written up. Can you understand that? I don't even have to ask, but do you understand this written up? This write up? They said yes. Okay. You will be written up, and that will be your warning, right? That natural warning, that natural fear. We cannot play around, okay? Again, I will work with you, and this is just the maintenance guy. I haven't even got to the janitor. I haven't even got to the teachers. Listen, that's when you start to see the most important people, the people that I'm interviewing, police officers, security guards, the janitors, the maintenance man. I haven't even got to the actual teachers. That's how you see who's the most important when it comes to our security, our protection. Before we could study and be taught, are we protected? Are we secure in this place? So I'm not done with him, right? I'm reassuring him as well, because again, he doesn't have to tell me anything. He doesn't have to tell me these excuses or, whatever is causing him, whatever the cause of this was. There's nothing new under the sun. You know why? Because I am just like you. I was one of you. Like I've lived here too to understand what's going on here. And that is why I'm here. I didn't just go back home to stay home. I came back into the world. And now when I come back with power. And not hidden power. No, power that everyone can see. So we're going to get these cameras together. We're going to replace them. Because then you find out that, here's another excuse, we don't have funding. Okay, listen, we replaced the cameras Because that's another thing we have to check on. Where is the funds that you get for this school? Where is that going to? So we'll be talking to the superintendent. We'll be talking to them next. But in the meantime, let's just focus on you, maintenance man. We replaced those cameras with better and newer versions. Okay, there's going to be a guy that's going to show you exactly what it is, how it is, and if you have any questions about it. You should be able to see your raise and your next paycheck. And we're hiring people for this position as well. So you will be the head of them since you've been here the longest and you know everything. You will be the leader to show them around. And it is done. Any questions? All right. You see, here's the thing. They are so used to everything in paper. They're like, wow, like, are you serious? Yeah. But they're used to like paper. Like, can I get this in writing? You don't trust me by my word? They said, I do, I really do. But do you mind? So we just wrote it, Like, for example, even the write-up, it really was a verbal one. It really was a verbal one. Like, I told you, you see me, you see my eyes, you don't want to see me again in this way. You're going to see me again, but I don't want to be verbally warning you. I thought that was enough. But this guy was like, look, can I get this in writing? I said, how about I give you the just the sheet showing that you're getting your raise. But as far as the warning, I'm sure I don't need to write that. I'm sure you can feel it and you'll remember it because there's some fear there, right? And that fear will go away. But in the meantime, you need to understand more than ever. I mean, it's in your face to understand like what's understandable, that we have no choice, that I'm here for a reason. Like, it took this for me to be here. Too many children, unnecessary, okay? So, and this is just in one school. Do you see the work that is ahead of us? Because in one school, there is so many important people that need to be heard, need things, want things, on top of what already needs to be done. So we've already squared away the maintenance man. He has technology. He has enough, everything that he may need. Where is the money coming from for the school to have these things? The simplest things: batteries, ladders, all the things he wrote a list on, and the funds were given so that he can get those things for the school, for the children. Security guards and police officers, they're at every door. We have this new technology. So now it scans everyone when they come through. We have designated people that drug tests everyone weekly for the synthetic substance that is toxic and addicting every week, making sure that our children are safe and ready to learn and able to. That's one school. So every school, we have to do that too. So what does a leader do? We work. Any leader that don't work and ain't putting in work like this ain't a leader. Aim for you, aim for the people, aim for the children. But we have all of these sectors, we have all of this technology, we have all of this time, we have all of this energy, but none of this is being done. And this could have been done a long time ago. That's what I've discovered. So how are they getting in? How are these intruders getting in? How are there not weapons being found? How? If this was implemented, if these measures were taken, if people actually put care in everything they did in their job, since they so much brag about it and say, oh, I'm in this career because it's my passion and I love it and I care so much for the people, so much for the patients. Really? Well, what do you have to show for it? Because you talking a whole lot. You talking big talk. It sounds good. You flattering some people, like they just looking at you with amazement because it just sounds too good to be true. But I'm walking on the scene and I say, well, what do you have to show for it? Let me see your cameras. Where's your metal detectors? How many security guards are employed? Let me see it in documentation. Because these people are all paid, are they not? They should all be accounted for. There should not be anyone that we don't know in this school. That's another issue. You find out you got volunteers that just popped up and they're in the school. What are their names? What are their first and last names? I think he's a contractor. I think he just came with them. What's his name? What's his number? Where is he right now? Let me check on that. No, now, right now. I want to hear it now. You don't know? You don't know, but I'm talking to you and you're the first face I see. So I'm guessing you're the receptionist. You're the secretary. Isn't your job to make sure everyone that comes in has a label, has a reason? What was their reason? Everyone's accounted for. I get that they're coming in shown to be something, right? They had a badge. Well, they just had, but where's the itinerary? Where's the documentation? Why are they here? You can't do what I do and just trust me in what I say. Things are written down here for a reason because you can't trust these people. There are some that are truly unworthy in these seats and with these badges. So let me see the itinerary and let me see everyone's name now. So now, all of a sudden, I wasn't actually intending to sit down with now this secretary, but now, what's your name, ma'am? And what is your role? Because again, to me, I think you're the receptionist. To me, you're some sort of secretary. Yes, that is my role. Okay. You will be held responsible. Because do you see how important you are? You are literally the face of this place. You're the first person I see, not passing by. You sit at this desk. This is your office. This is your job right here. In front of this screen. Doing what? I don't know. But you're not doing it well. We have security guards being employed. We have metal detectors going up, and then we have you. And you're the face. You're the one that says, hello, how you doing? Giving directions and, checking to see if someone's here and calling and, okay, I need to see everyone that is supposed to be here today. Did they check in with you or did they just walk by? Because I would believe that if these people are coming here to work, for example, police officers, security guards, there needs to be a better system. There needs to be better where, their badges need to be where you can see them. They need to check in. You know why? Because we need to make sure. Usually when they clock in, you don't really realize it unless HR or somebody, the scheduling people are actually looking. But that may be too late. You being the face, listen, you don't got to worry about every other. Listen, if anything, if it's a police officer, we want them to check in. Yes, I understand you see like hundreds of kids. But what I'm telling you is when it comes to security, there's only but so many security guards. We don't have 100 security guards. What I'm saying is for now on, every security guard will obviously clock in, but they will check with you rather than pass by, okay? Give their first and last name and their ID number. Because why? Because it is that serious. We want to make sure that they're here. Because if they're not here, they're not at their post. And we're not going to just rely on the scheduling people to call us and to say, or to call that security guard and wonder why they're not here. That'll be a little too late. Because most likely, these security guards and police officers have to be here an hour or two before school starts. So we're waiting for them to actually clock in. It's going to be too late. So that is why you're here maybe 2 hours early, because you're the face. When people come in, they're wondering where they're going. You have to be here before them. So you will not get a write-up because maybe this just wasn't the system, right? But now this is. But best believe, if I come back and I find that there are security guards, so-called security guards here, that was not signed up to be here, you will be held accountable for it. Because that was your job starting today. And it will be. Okay? So that's me not even getting into the yet, because I'm at the front door. I noticed that there's no camera, there's no metal detector. I go to the side doors, I see there's no one there. The back door, there's no one there. And at those entrances, there's no camera. I haven't even gone in the floors. Like, I haven't even gone floor to floor. I only know that the 2 cameras didn't work because there's a camera room. And the camera, there's cameras right where the receptionist is too. I didn't have to go nowhere. It was just a black screen. And I'm like, what is this? Why is it that this camera is black? Why is the screen black? Oh, well, it's been out. How long has it been out? Hold your tongue. Don't worry about it. We'll go check on it. Because I'm not going to wait until she says, I'm not sure. You're going to have to ask Nancy. Who's Nancy? The other receptionist that comes on Wednesdays. No worries. That's too long. That's just wasting time. And then, right? You shouldn't be surprised if now this secretary comes and says, we're just overworked and we don't get paid. I said, hold your tongue. Okay. I've already worked behind the scenes and, long story short, everyone's getting a raise here. But yes, I have seen what you get paid. Okay. You will get a raise. You will get a raise and you'll see it reflect on your next paycheck. But right now I'm coming to you and I'm implementing these things. This is the most important. Okay. And we already hired some more people for this position and you will be the lead because you've been here the longest. Okay. You say, yeah. Okay. Now, we're just in this school. I mean, there's so many schools around the world. But you know what? It's a passion. This is my work. Right? You wonder what the leaders do all day, freaking working. We going places. We getting it done. We're just in Georgia right now. We just came from Connecticut. All the schools in Connecticut. Now we're in Georgia. And it's not like, oh, we doing it, we're going to school every 3 months. Because there's so many things we have to do. People got to order things. Funds need to be given like every day. So it's a good thing that it's my passion, because then if it wasn't my passion, I wouldn't even want to go on weekends. I wouldn't want to work overtime. I wouldn't want to do night shift. But no, I'm doing this until I actually need to sleep. Because I can eat on the way, right? I can eat while I'm there working. Like, yeah, so I need you, not to be rude, but I can eat on the go. I can shower if I need to when necessary. Because I'm going places. Like, okay, let me go home and change really quick, but I'm back on the road. This ain't no, oh, I done finished for the day, so now I can go eat and sleep and shower. No. This is an all-day thing. This is a 24-hour thing. I'm a 24-hour call. That's a leader. But I don't think I got to tell anyone that, do I? You know to see it. That's what I mean. We don't have to boast and say, oh, we're this, we're that. Listen, you don't recognize who we are? You don't see? With us, you could see it. We don't have to tell you nothing. We don't have to show a badge. We don't have to have money in our pockets. We don't have to have a crown on our head. Do you see who we are? Like, whoa, who was that woman? She was power. But shoot, I had just, flip-flops on, my feet free, my toes twinkling. I had a cotton blouse on with maybe some khakis. My hair curly down, got my hair down. They're like, whoa, who was that? She comes with power, strength. That's a woman. She come with love too, and understand. I just feel her essence, like so much power, but so much pureness. That's a godly presence, okay? But we just came from Connecticut. Now we're in Georgia. Going school from school, let alone institution to institution, because that's what it is. It's all of these buildings. What are they? A corporation, a distribution, a warehouse. Every place that people put their energy and their time and their power, and there's responsibility and there's liability. We need to check these things as inspectors. Every place there's inspectors. Every place there's some sort of security. Every place we need to go see them. We need to see how they're being treated, what they're getting paid, because we already know that's an issue. On top of the real issue, things are not being done properly. You got head of this and head of that to do what? To make it better for you. But where are they? What are they doing? To show you this is what it looks like. I'm the head of the whole world. When I come on the scene, they hold their tongue. And they don't have to, right? Like, that's the thing. They don't have to speak because I already know. I'm not here to work against you. I am here to work for you. So it's like they think they coming in about to get like, real harsh punishment when they leave really relieved. They really leave relieved. All right, so that's what I mean. I'm not here to wait for my flowers. I already know. So this school is secure. We're good here? No? Okay. So, because I got a report that something, you need to look at something. Okay, so now we're walking the regular hallways of this school. Right? And like I said before, I'm like, okay, are these lockers checked, and how often are they checked or cleaned? Well, they're just cleaned from the outside. Okay. And who does that? House cleaning? Housekeepers? Okay. And that's fine. Right? Because that's not their job to, go into the lockers. But there is someone that does have that authority, right? And that's whoever is the head of the school, the superintendent or someone, right? If they tell you to open your locker, you're going to open it. So I tell them, I say, these lockers need to be checked every day. So here's the thing. These things are funded by the government, correct? Yeah? Okay, because this is a system, right? Because if it wasn't a system, then these kids would be outside and their parents and people would teach them, the community. So let's remember that. We're in a system where most of these things are government funded. So there's laws, correct? Okay. What are the rights here with the lockers? Because here's the thing, because I don't really need to know. This is how it's going to go down. These lockers are going to be checked every day. All of this, so I open up a locker and I see like clutter, like they're hoarding in this locker. There's old food, there's unnecessary things. It's not organized. A locker is just a hubby. Like, you put your coat, you put your backpack. What are you all guys allowing these kids to have? What are they required to keep in the school when they should have everything already in class? So right now, to make it easy peasy to be able to search properly everyone's stuff, they are not allowed to bring any sort of toys. This is not show and tell. In their backpack, it should be a clear backpack. It should be clear. You should be able to see through the backpack. These are children. These are not adults. They're not grown. You tell them what to do. They are in your institute. You're responsible. Let's be wise now. Let's be wise. In these lockers, I should not be seeing book bags where I can't see through them. I don't know what's in there. It could be a B, the big B. Come on now. So let's envision this. You open the locker. There's a clear book bag in there. In that book bag, there's their homework. There's a book, just paper, and a pencil. Then they also have whatever they came with, an umbrella or a coat, a sweater. Their lunch, right? Their lunch should not be in their locker if they bring lunch. And if they bring lunch, it should be in a brown paper bag. And if it isn't in a brown paper bag, then have a lunch bag. But even still, there should not be food in the locker. Because then if something happens, now housekeeping got to clean that inside of it. Because now there's a roach infestation. Nothing else should be in the locker. If they have gym, there's gym lockers. So when we go into the gym, in the locker room, when we open up those lockers, there should just be their gym shoes and their gym clothes. There should not be any books in the gym locker room. There should not be any pencils. Then there's also that. When we go into those lockers, those things should be taken home to be washed every day. Because clearly in the system, they have gym first period. I remember that. I used to have gym second period or third period. Now you're hot and you're sweaty and you got a math test. You got to go to math class. Great. And then they only give you like 5 minutes to actually get back dressed until you hear the alarm. Crazy works. So all that's changing, okay? And this would all been avoided if we didn't have the system, because again, all these children would be outside already. But in a filthy system, this is the nonsense that we have to work with, you know, because Jesus is not here yet. And clearly I have to speak like this because even though Jesus is not here yet, you did not want to take it in your own hands and fix this crap when you had the chance and the will. That's what I've discovered as well. So when we open up the gym lockers, there's no clothes in there at the end of the day. Do you understand that? Like if you go to gym class, you're coming, if you know you have gym, you got the clothes that you have on now that you came to school with, then you have your gym clothes. You go to gym class, you change into your gym class, you change into your gym clothes. And that's the thing. Sometimes, or at least for me, I didn't even have gym clothes. Right? So you're doing a pacer in your own clothes. Or let's just say you forgot your clothes. So that's another issue. There should be extra clothes for them. And there it is. Because we can't always assume that every kid has clothes. So if they want to bring their own clothes, then yes, they are responsible with taking their gym clothes home, washing them, bringing them back. But what makes it more convenient for everyone is that we supply them, because you can just grab a white tee for like $2 at a Dollar Tree or somewhere. Again, we should not have issues with things that we need for the school where if it's government funded. Where's the money going to? I'm still working on that to see what's happening because they will be held accountable. But in the meantime, I don't have time for that. Right now, where I'm at, I'm trying to handle this before I leave. That's it. What do you need? What needs to be said before I leave? There should be more than enough white tees. They should be white tees because We don't know if people have allergies. We don't know the dyes in these things. So it needs to be white cotton, natural fibers, t-shirts, as well as shorts or sweats, whatever they choose. They also have gym sneakers as well that we supply, and they have their own issues in, and that should be something that they take home. You see? So all of this is still being taken home. The gym clothes that we supply them is theirs. They're responsible, because they are held responsible, to make sure that they have clothes to change in and out of. But my point is that in those lockers, there should be nothing in them at the end of the day. And if there is something in them, then naturally we need to put out a warning somehow so that it won't happen. Because that's just the law, right? That's just the rule. If you find any child or any person doing that, maybe there's something that they're not hearing. Maybe they don't understand. So we're going to have to talk to them. These lockers are not theirs. So everything that is theirs, they're taking home with them. We don't wash clothes here. They wash them themselves. If there's a situation going on home, we have people that they can talk to. But I'm saying right now, when it comes to these lockers, there's nothing that should be in them. And if there's an issue, then I need the names of these individuals, and we will deal with it accordingly. But it's up to you that if I come back and there's you will be held responsible. That's helping out the housekeepers, the sanitation. That's helping out a lot of things. So that when it comes that we need to do security checks, we open up lockers, there's no clutter. Because the first thing we're going to think is, who allowing these kids to just have all this stuff? Unnecessary. They come in here just for a few hours. This ain't an after school program. This is school. You know, you open up one locker, they got a whole PS1 in there, a whole GameCube. No, sir. And if there was a metal detector, it would have went off. And guess what? You can't come with that. That's not going into the locker, because that's not going through the door. We'll save it for you, or you could turn right back around, call your mom, and have her pick it up. Or you could go back home and get scolded at for the reason. But either way, it's not going. It's not coming in. Usually these things have, lithium batteries or something. It just goes off. Okay? A whole PS1. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. For what? So now we got the lockers situated. So yes, the lockers will be checked every day. And all you got to do is open it and just look like, okay, great. There's a backpack and there's a coat. They've already been scanned. So there shouldn't be nothing in the backpack. But they have the right to check backpacks. So if they feel suspicious, they'll be checking your backpack. They'll be checking your pockets. But it's easier when it's just your backpack required and your sweater and your gym clothes and sneakers. That's it. That's all that's in there. Your lunch goes in the refrigerator. It doesn't go in a locker. All right, moving on. So we got the doors secure, the entrances. We got the receptionist, the secretary doing her thing, taking attendance of not the students, but the people working for the students, security guards. Like that's one of her jobs. Like she's gonna see them when they walk in. They're gonna check in with her. We got the cameras working. We replaced all the cameras. We got the understanding that, okay, what's behind these lockers? Just a book bag, a clear book bag that we can see in. Remember that. We can see in it. So we don't even have to look. There should just be your books in there, a pencil. If we find out there's games, no, that's not getting through the door. And that's what I mean. If you have a problem with it, you don't have to come to this school. Let your parents teach you, which is the better way. But in a place like this, it's required. In a system, it's required. Do you understand that? If the parents got a problem with it, then take your kids out of this system. Take your kid out of this school. Because we're trying to make sure that while your child is in the system, they're safe. And they're learning. They didn't come here to play games. They go home to the PS1. They don't come here to play it. So what's your issue, lady? What is your issue? And if you keep disrespecting us, on your behalf, we will send your kid to another school. And you will be responsible for picking him up. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think you want that. So hold your tongue. All right, so we're walking. We got the locker situated. Everything seems okay. All right. The teachers, we see who the teachers are. Okay, these are our teachers. We love our teachers. We love them. They're the ones that stay in our hearts. We remember them. So we meet them, we appreciate them, and we know them by name. We all talk, get to know each other. Like, what's new? What's going on? What do y'all need? What do y'all want? Right? Of course, y'all need a raise. That's already going to happen. Everyone in this school is getting a raise, but they don't know that. So here's another sort of sector. All the teachers are getting raises. All the janitors, all the maintenance people, all the security guards, they're all getting raises. But I got to get to them. I got to announce myself. Hello, nice to meet you. They said, wow, you're getting things done. What department are you with? I said, God, Department of the Worlds. I said, wow, I see. Yeah, Department of the Worlds. It's like when you've attended a school and you go back to it, years later to, reflect and to see what needs to improve and be there for it, right? Support it. Well, I was here once in this world. Understanding the world and its ways. So when I went back home, getting jiggy with it, I still knew that I was going to come back and check in every once in a blue moon. And if I seen and heard and know that I can do something, I was going to do it because I would have the power to. And I'd just get it done. It wouldn't take weeks or months or years. No, we're getting it done today. Like, as you see me and as I'm speaking to you, things are being done. You will see your raise, your next paycheck. That has already been done before I even met you. Because I needed to understand this school. What school am I walking into? How many employees? Who's this? Who's that? What are the pay wages? What are the pay ranges? Because there's a lot of unfairness here. You got someone that worked here for 20 years that's getting paid this, someone that worked here for a year with no experience. So it's just like, I ain't gotta say it. There's just some crazy works being done. Okay. So I'm back. And I'm here for you, not against you. But I'm here with fair treatment and justice. You have to understand that. And if you go against that, then yeah, you have to I need to, justify it correctly. But I'm not here for anything other than that. You make it hard for yourself. You know how when like certain people be like, yo, I'm here for you and I'm really am the good guy. Listen, I'm not gonna say I'm the good guy. Cause I don't have to say that. I'm showing you, like I'm for you, not against you. I really want to work with you because I'm working for you. It isn't even something that I'm suggesting. It's I'm here to do that, okay? Now whether you see that or not, that's fine. I'm just here to get it done and be about my business. Because I have so many other places I have to go before I can go back home and get jiggy with it and then come back to check in. So we're still in that one school. We're still in one school. And it's only been 3 hours, right? And we're getting all this done. We've gotten all this done, right? Metal detectors are on their way. See, that's what happens when you take it seriously and you're not playing no games right now. Not next week, right now, right? You got people on the road all day, every day. Okay, well, they need to make their way here because this is a priority. Someone buying some Skechers from Amazon, they could wait another day, okay? If they need sneakers bad enough, they can go across the street to like a store. You got people ordering 16 boxes of baby powder. They could wait, okay? 16 bottles? 16 boxes. And again, they shouldn't have to wait because we got all these workers, all people that need jobs, right? So why is it that it shouldn't be taken from anyone? There's enough drivers for everyone. There's enough workers for everyone to get what they need. So that is why it's so easy for me to be like, look, we need 4 advanced metal detectors, 2 advanced cameras, 246 clear book bags, 786 cotton shirts and briefs and it's going to be delivered by the end of the day. Why? Because that's all it takes. It only takes for you to get a call. If you need to pay for it, okay, we pay for it and we want it today. We need it today. Not only that, but this is a school. These are children. What else? Let's see. We're looking around. Everything seems okay. Like I said, we were talking to the teachers, having a good time, giving them their appreciation. And so, about that, while giving them appreciation, I felt just, being in a giving spirit, especially when you're around people that deserve it. You started to see or discover that when do they have this appreciation for their teachers? When do they have this appreciation for their staff? Someone said holidays. Holidays, they get a gift card or something like that. Nope. Nope. Now we will have it where whatever you'd like, just let us know. So it's a holiday, what would you like? Give us at least 5 things, and out of those 5 things, we'll do our best to get something out of that list. Because we have the funds, and they are important, and they deserve it. They're here every day with your children. Every day. Mm-hmm. Every single day. Even in the summer. Every day. Some stay after. We love them. They stay after hours to teach you mathematics. Yeah, every day. So this is not, we'll give them a $15 gas card or a $15 coffee card or a $15, $20, $100 Walmart card. No, you tell us what you like. What's your wish list? Oh, well, we do Secret Santa. You're giving people things they don't want. This ain't your children. This ain't family members. These are strangers. People that actually put in hard work and dedication that don't really have to. So the least you can do is ask them what they like. Ask them, get to know them. What do they love? If Carl says, I want the new grill 2034. Well, Carl's getting that 2034 grill. Yes, he is. We love our Carl. Carl said that the only time he get appreciation is from the kids. I'm not tolerating it. That's why I'm here. Carl want that 2034 grill. Summer's coming too, so it needs to be here tomorrow. We done already pre-ordered it. Carl, it's going to be delivered to you tomorrow, baby. He want that 2034 grill. Grill master. Susan, okay, Susan's something else. Susan requested her bathroom to be remodeled. How about that? So you know what we did? We sent an interior designer to her home. And that's what she got. She got whatever she wanted. She wanted the tiles changed. She didn't have a tub. She didn't have a soaking tub. And you know me, I'm all for soaky. She getting that tub. She deserves it. And she's a woman. She deserves that delicacy. She is a delicate woman, Susan. So she didn't have a bath. So she wanted a bathtub. So with that interior design, she was able to get the bath, get it, all of it. I love just like details. So just know they remodeled her whole bathroom. She showed them Pinterest pictures. I said, do your thing. She was so happy. And that's what we want to see. That's what we want to know. That they are appreciated. Money is not a factor when it comes to the most important people. People that are deserving of it. And I ain't gotta tell you everybody else's wish list because that's their business. But you know, Susie and Carl, you know, they family, so. Anything they need, let us know. You know, and if it's overboard or something, we'll just say no. We'll just say no. But there's nothing that they, you know, here's the thing with decent people, there's nothing that they would ask that wouldn't be decent. Like, no, they definitely deserve it. Right? So there is a list that was, you know, sent that I seen. Matter of fact, it was something that was already, there was a document that they already had submitted, you know, 2 years ago. 2 years ago requesting more funds for them to get this and that. So yeah, I started to look around and see some of the things that they were requesting, like a new chalkboard, a new desk, chairs, the basic stuff. You want to be comfortable. Shouldn't they be comfortable? Isn't that part of appreciation? You got them sitting in wooden chairs with no cushion. So yes, we sent in the same interior designer to the school, and each teacher was allowed to pick out whatever they felt they needed and wanted in their classroom. And all they really wanted was a nice chair, a comfortable one, a desk that held all the things they needed, their supplies. You know, and if this was an elementary kindergarten, they needed new rugs because this rug was pissy. Throw up. It needs to be replaced 5 years ago. No wonder why the children got allergies, irritants. So many things, you know, we can go all day about it. In Alizé's world, we can go all day about this, me being a visionary. Yeah, just update it. Just update it. You know, we went back to more woodwork. You know? Yeah, most of the toys are wood. So that was another thing. Like I checked the children, the babies, well, preschoolers. I checked their rooms and all their toys was like battery operated. You needed constant batteries. You needed to charge these things. I said, no, sir. No, ma'am. Do away with this. You know, we gave these toys. If the parents want to take them home, they could take them home. But I given more funds to these teachers to be able to, again, give these children the best opportunity. And those certain classes, preschool children, the young children, Oh, there was top-notch security. You knew that was coming. There's a special security guard in that area. There's housekeeping always keeping up in those areas because children are the most vulnerable. Their immune system is still building itself, so they're going to get sick, and their skin gonna get irritated because they're in a system that is allowing things that are not for them but against them. And there's more than enough staff. And everything is recorded. Again, top-notch security. You know how you have telemonitors, people that are monitoring the screen? Well, there's someone monitoring those areas all day. That's all they have to do. That's all that certain security guard has to do. And when he needs a break and want to walk around, someone replaces him. They switch out. They switch out every 30 minutes. He gets to go walk around, get some fresh water, eat something, comes back. Then he switches out for 30 minutes, walks around, does whatever he needs to do. And there should be 2 people in that room, 2 security guards always in that room monitoring those. Let's say there was 2 or 3 classes and the classes were not full, right? Each class had maybe 6 or 7 children. And each of those classes, there were 3 aides. Or 4 aides. Or an aide for each child. That's fine because it gives more jobs and opportunity and more currency for people to survive in the system. You see that? And so before we leave this school, we find out what is the curriculum. What is that? What does that look like? So you sit back and you see what's going on. What are they hearing? What are they seeing? Especially the babies, the preschoolers. What are they being taught? Are they just on recess? Are they learning their alphabets, their 1, 2, 3s, the system? Are they learning how to write in English? Are they learning penmanship? Like, what are they doing? They have arts and craft all day. Were they watching a movie? Are they taking naps all day? What are they doing? Because it's your job to make sure nap time is nap time. Bathroom time is bathroom time. It needs to be structured. If you're having a system and it's constructed and it's quote unquote structured, then we need to see the structure. And we need to make it as simple as possible. If they're coming here to learn, there should just be learning. Again, there should be no games. If the preschoolers are coming here and they're not potty trained, okay, well, there should be someone taking them to the bathroom, potty training them here. It's just part of the job. When they're in your care, you have to take them to the bathroom. You have to remind them. This is where you go pee-pee. This is where you go poo-poo. This is where you sit. This is how you say please, thank you. This is how you wait. This is patience. This is how you care. This is how you give. Share with Katie. Let Katie have a try. Wait behind Michael. Michael's in front of you. Stay in line. At this time in their life, they need a little structure. They're going to be kids, but in a system where when your job is to make sure that they understand society, understand the system, do your job. Because ultimately, we are human beings. We need to be trained. We can't just, we can say what we want to say, but we need to learn control. How are you going to teach that to a child? Well, most people say, well, the professionals do it. They're in school for that reason. That's true, but it's still up to you, ma'am. Okay? Trust me, I know I'm on them right now about it, but let's not get to you, because you will be held liable if something happens to this child. Not the teachers, you. But yeah, in this system as teachers, we need to figure out what's happening. You can say all day that the parents, this is their job. That's true. But it's your job too. We all work together. We're the community. It may not be the ideal community as it used to be back in the day, but we're a community whether we know it or not, because we have to work together. We have to communicate for the betterment of this child. So if he's not learning, if something's going on, we need to communicate that with you. If you weren't able to do this or do that or didn't have time for that, then make us understand. What time is it? You see, it takes time. It takes energy, but it's my passion. I have the time. So of course I couldn't leave without seeing the babies. Kissing on them little hands and stuff. Well, I probably didn't kiss on their hands, but definitely touched them. Let me see you. Let me see your little hand. Let me handshake it. You got little Tony handshaking me. How cute are you? Hello, ma'am. Yeah. Precious. But I seen them. They were following the leader. And the leader was setting the example. And everyone was following behind that. I need to see who was the leader. Okay.
She was definitely leadership material. She definitely had what it took. She led with example. So yeah, I said, great, I can leave. I can leave in peace. But I'll be back. And if I quite can't be back at the time that I'd like, there's always gonna be someone coming back to check. Because that's just what it takes. So that's what I do for every school, every place, because that's what you do when you analyze and you inspect and you're a leader and you care and you want change and you are the change. But only in your world, right? Only in Alizé's world. But in this world, open your eyes. Whoa. So until Jesus Christ comes back and until I am in power, this is what you're in. This is what it is. And I'll leave it there.